Thank you very, very much. You might notice I lost some of my voice the other night, but I'm still able to speak, and I'm still as passionate as I was last night, the night before that. Our country is at a crossroads. You know that. Dick wasn't exaggerating when he said, you know, we may have to conduct this from New Zealand next year if things go wrong. The reality is we have a very, very dramatic choice between one way our government can go and a second way. Let me simplify it. Donald Trump is a conservative. He's conservative in economic policy. He's conservative on national security. What does that mean? It means he's going to lower taxes. He's going to lower corporate taxes. He is going to reduce the hundreds of millions of regulations that are crushing American businesses. By that, he's going to reduce my income because my law firm is going to make less money. But he will help my country. When I was in the Justice Department in the 1970s and the 1980s, the Code of Federal Regulations was about this high. It now goes through the ceiling. Every one of those regulations requires companies, small, medium, large, to hire lawyers, accountants, lobbyists, just in order to stay out of jail. Hillary stays out of jail just because she's a Clinton. And that is hurting the ability of this country to produce jobs, even more than taxes, even more than the highest corporate tax in the world. Donald Trump understands that, and he will make that change immediately. The 35% corporate tax will get slashed to 20% or 15% or, I hope, 10. That'll bring billions back to the United States. That's how you produce jobs. He'll reduce the regulations. My suggestion to him is, here's what we do. We just say, take out every other regulation. I don't care which one. Cut them in half. Just pile them up and get rid of the top half or the bottom half. You're not going to miss them. Then he's going to negotiate agreements for us that help America. Look, we want to trade. We want free trade. We want to trade with the whole world. But we want fair terms for trade. And nobody I have ever met, in knowing him for 29 years, can negotiate as effectively as Donald Trump. If I was going to negotiate for the sale of my condo in Palm Beach, I would have Donald Trump negotiate for me. If I was going to negotiate for, I don't know, for a new job, I'd have Donald Trump negotiate for me. So who do I want negotiating for my country? Do I want Hillary Clinton? No. Hillary Clinton negotiated with Putin. She gave away the defense of Poland and the Czech Republic, the nuclear defense of Poland and the Czech Republic. First of all, I consider that immoral. I work for Ronald Reagan. He's the one who set that up. He's the one that walked out of Reykjavik because Gorbachev required him to give up what the New York Times used to describe in a very nasty way as Star Wars. The New York Times, by the way, is wrong about everything. Ronald Reagan used to read it in order to do the opposite. I mean it. It's true. Now, how stupid can you be not to understand Star Wars? Way back in the 1980s, when the stupid editorial board of the New York Times and the Washington Post used to make fun of him. Just think about this for a moment. If a missile can shoot down an airplane, which it can, correct? A missile can shoot down another missile. If it's a bigger missile, a better missile, a smarter missile, and a more powerful missile. Only political ideologues who think that they're right about everything because they sit on the editorial board of the Washington Post or the New York Times are too stupid to figure that out. Now, if you need any proof that it works, think of the Iron Dome in Israel. I had one of the greatest and most fulfilling experiences of my life was Prime Minister Netanyahu allowing me to take pictures of it. And I took those pictures and I brought them to Mrs. Reagan 2 years ago before she died. I'm on the board of the Reagan Library. And I shared them with her. And I shared with her what Prime Minister Netanyahu told me to tell her, which is if it wasn't for her husband, there'd be thousands of Israelis dead. And in return for that, there'd be many more thousands of Palestinians dead because Prime Minister Netanyahu doesn't draw red lines and then turn them into pink and yellow lines and back down. He fights back for his country. Somebody the other day asked me, how can I vote for Donald Trump? He's politically incorrect. I said, okay, let's assume he is politically incorrect. I prefer voting for someone who's politically incorrect than a criminal. Now, you're looking at somebody who has more experience prosecuting criminals than I do practicing politics. I've prosecuted thousands and thousands of criminals, from the lowest level to the highest level, to the heads of the 5 organized crime families in New York, and I put them in jail for 100 years, to Ivan Boesky and Michael Milken, and the Wall Street criminals. The movie Wall Street 1 is about my case. That's the good movie. The second one wasn't so good. I prosecuted Colombian drug cartel murderers. I prosecuted 2 former Nazis and sent them back to be executed for having killed, in one case, 10,000 and in the other case, 12,000 Jewish people. I prosecuted 2 sitting United States congressmen and put them in jail. And I prosecuted most of the Koch administration, which is how I became mayor. So I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to tell you this with great conviction and absolutely no fear that there's anyone that can contradict this. Hillary Clinton has violated so many federal laws, I would need a blackboard bigger than that to write them all down. I keep them on my iPad. They're all here, all the violations. I never had a case that is as strong as the case against Hillary Clinton. I never, ever, as a lawyer, have ever guaranteed a result, either to the government or to my clients, because I don't know what juries are going to do. However, I will bet my life that if you put me in front of 12 fair and decent Americans, and you let me prosecute this case against Hillary Clinton, she will go to jail for 10 years or more. list of violations, Hannity puts it up once a week. He puts it up on his show. And every couple of weeks, I update it with a few more violations. But Chris Christie last night and Dick Morris this morning laid out the case for you. I don't have to go any further. I'm going to add one other, however, that really troubles me as a federal prosecutor. There's a bank called UBS. UBS was in a big dispute with the Internal Revenue Service. The Internal Revenue Service wanted UBS to turn over numerous secret bank accounts. They're a Swiss bank, remember. In the Justice Department, in my days in the Justice Department, we would have numerous cases like this with the Swiss in trying to get the bank accounts of organized criminals, drug dealers, and various other criminals. The dispute had been going on for some time. UBS made a $60,000 contribution to the Clinton Foundation. Rather small in Clinton numbers. And they made a $600,000 contribution to the Clinton Foundation. We're starting to talk about real money now, right? And then somewhere in that sequence, Hillary Clinton called the Internal Revenue Service and told them to go easy on UBS, that this could cause friction with the Swiss. We're going to go to war with Switzerland? The Pope would have to give up the Swiss Guard. We're not going to fight with the Pope's Swiss Guard. I don't even think Switzerland has a damn army. The person at the Internal Revenue Service says that he had never received a call like this ever from the Secretary of State and was shocked at her intervention in the case. Several months later, Bill Clinton got a $1.2 million speaking fee from UBS. If that's not a bribe, I don't know. What's the bribe? We're not. I put a congressman in jail and ruined his career for a $40,000 bribe. General Petraeus had his reputation ruined for revealing 2 pieces of top secret information. She revealed thousands. So it's got to end now. I think Dick made the case really well. This special standard for the Clintons that the liberal media has created, the New York Times, the Washington Post, NBC, CBS. What am I missing? Oh, I don't even think about them. This special thing they've created for the Clintons has got to end. Because if we stand for anything, we stand for equal justice under the law. Clintons, as Dick pointed out, the Clintons have been stealing since they were in Little Rock. You go to Little Rock and talk to people like I do, and they will tell you that Bill Clinton was one of the most crooked governors in the state, and his bag woman was Hillary Clinton at the Rose Law Firm. They were crooks back in Little Rock. They sold the Lincoln bedroom. Hillary Clinton was the enforcer-in-chief against the women who accused Bill Clinton of sexually assaulting them. She's a feminist? If there's a war on women, the war on women was the one conducted by Bill Clinton. and empowered by Hillary Clinton. Now, she knew his history. We knew his history. And along comes this young woman, Monica Lewinsky, and tells us about what he was doing in the Oval Office. When she made her first allegations, did you believe her? Did all of America believe her? Hillary Clinton didn't believe her. For 6 months, they conducted a campaign trying to make her sound like she was some kind of an insane maniac. They tried to ruin and destroy the young woman. And then it turned out she had the dress and the DNA. And if she didn't, she would have been ruined. And Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton would have been the ones to have ruined the young woman. Hillary Clinton says she wants to take care of women who are victims of sexual abuse. What about Monica Lewinsky? She was a young girl, an impressionable young girl who was taken advantage of by the President of the United States. If you ran a company, you'd be fired in a minute. For much less than that, you get fired now for telling a dirty joke. My God, I had someone tell me, walking in, they don't even like to say to women anymore, you look beautiful. My goodness, it may be misunderstood. Well, there was nothing to be misunderstood about what Bill Clinton did. No misunderstanding. It wasn't she, you look pretty, Monica. You know what it was. I know what it was. And Hillary Clinton covered it up. You can't tell me for a minute that she didn't know the moment Monica Lewinsky made her allegations. She knew her husband. She knew his history. She knew about the bimbo squad that tried to destroy all the women that Bill Clinton violated. She knew that whole history. When he walked up to that bedroom that night, imagine what she said to him. That's like the Secret Service agent who tells you about how she used to throw all the stuff at him and call him all kinds of names. So we can't have her in the White House. We can't. This would be a disgrace for our country to have a criminal like this in the White House. On the other hand, we have a man who will straighten out our economy. He will make sure we stand up to Islamic terrorism. He's not afraid to say Islamic terrorism. He will completely undo the ridiculous agreement with the Ayatollah of Iran. Beyond that, he'll negotiate in our interests. And by his choice of Mike Pence, he has indicated to us he is going to bring highly capable people into government. So, everybody always says, well, why doesn't a presidential candidate name their cabinet before they get elected? I'm going to tell you why. Because if Donald Trump or even Hillary Clinton would have named their cabinet before they got into office, there would then be 12 or 13 people the press would go around and try to destroy before the election in order to destroy the candidate. But we get a very clear idea of the kind of cabinet we're going to have by the choice of vice president. So we're going to have a cabinet like Mike Pence. We're going to have a cabinet, maybe not with exactly his background, but governor, a very successful governor of Indiana, a very successful businessman, a very religious man, a very decent man, and a member of the United States Congress with both fiscal and foreign policy experience. You can't ask for more than that. And I'm going to tell you something, because it helped me a lot as mayor of New York. When you take office as an outsider and a reformer, I never held an elected office before I was mayor of New York, just like Donald Trump. I didn't do too bad, right? When you come in as a reformer, as Dick pointed out, as the guy who's going to shake Washington up and change it, change domestic policy, change foreign policy, you draw the best people to you. It gives people excitement that they're going to get a chance to change it. They're going to get a chance to fix it. They're going to get a chance to get it better. I saw it in the Reagan administration. I worked in Washington for President Reagan. I worked for him for 8 years, 2.5 years in Washington. I worked on speeches with him. I worked on law enforcement policy with him. I worked on Haitian immigration policy with him. Mariel Boatlift problems with him, as you remember, in Florida. We got so many talented people volunteering to come and work for us because Ronald Reagan was going to change things. Donald Trump will be like Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln used to sit there in the Oval Office in the first couple of days of the presidency, and so many people wanted jobs, he was getting exhausted. He will draw the best people in the government. And I know this man for 29 years, and I know he puts on a great show. I'm going to tell you a secret about Donald Trump. He doesn't build those buildings himself. He doesn't pour the concrete. He doesn't put the nails in the wall. He hires enormously capable people to do it. He didn't redo all of Doral in 10 months, driving the tractor. He went and got the best golf architect he could find, who understood Doral. He went and got the best people he could find that could fix up the resort. And now Doral is one of the great golf resorts in the world once again. I saw him take over the Wallman Rink when Ed Koch was the mayor. Took Ed Koch 3 years and he never got it done. Donald Trump took it over, got it done in 10 months. But the point is, he didn't do it himself. He hired capable, competent, and very good people to do it. Those are the people that will be working for us. You see, the kind of stuff Donald Trump has done for that beautiful family of his, the wealth that he's created, the empire that he's created, that's what he's going to do for us. That's what he's going to do for all of us. When he says he's going to make America great again, he means it. He means great. He means prosperous. And for all of us, white and black and Hispanic and Asian and everything else we are, and if I leave something out, please don't get angry at me. He loves all people, and he wants us to be the country we should be. We should be the leading country on earth. I want a president who, when Putin wakes up in the morning, and the Ayatollah wakes up in the morning, they are Fidel's dead, they're just propping him up. Fidel has actually been dead for 4 years, and they mummified him. Let me try it one other way. Do you think Putin, the Ayatollah, the head of the Islamic State or the head of South Korea, you think they're afraid of Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama? You think they're afraid of Donald Trump? Well, you're damn right they are. I will tell you, from knowing him for 29 years, I can tell you a lot of things about him, but I'm going to finish now. I'm going to tell you one thing. And boy, this is the reason he should be our president. This man doesn't back down to anyone. You have seen it. He didn't back down to the establishment of our party. He didn't back down to all the terrible things the media did to him. When he believes he's right, he fights. We're right. We have to fight to protect ourselves. We don't get freedom for nothing. We have to take this war against us to them and fight it there, not in Orlando, not in San Bernardino, but in Iraq and Afghanistan and Pakistan and all those places where they're trying to kill us. And before they kill us, we have to kill them. We don't want to do it. We'd rather not do it. But when you take that oath of office, you take the oath of office to protect Americans. And finally, if there is one group of people that I love with a special love, going back to my 5 uncles who were police officers, my one uncle who was a fire captain, it's my New York City Police Department and my New York City Fire Department. I loved them before September 11. And I was at the bedside of at least 40 of them who died in the line of duty before September 11, holding their hands and holding their families' hands. I love these men and women because they put on a uniform that means that they are risking their lives to protect us. I'm not wearing that uniform. They're protecting me. I'm not protecting them. When you do the kinds of things that this administration has done to the reputation of our police, and the New York City Police and the New York City Fire Department is no different than the police in Orlando or in Miami or in Nevada or here in Cleveland. It's one line of blue. They're the ones who save us. They're the ones who put their lives at risk for us. When you do what this administration has done to the reputation of these brave men and women, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself. And if you think this is helping race relations in America, well, race relations are much worse now than the day that Obama came into office. I can stand here and tell you, without fear of contradiction, that no mayor in the history of New York City saved more black lives than I did. No mayor in the history of New York City found more jobs for African Americans than I did. And I am passionate about choice, charter schools, and vouchers as the way out. Yes, there's unfairness. We can cure it, and we need Donald Trump to do it. Thank you, and God bless you.